Hi, this is Brass and we're recording this on Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. They are now going into their second week of a total lockdown of Shanghai, possibly the most populated city in the world with, I believe, 18 million people. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm then going to give you a short clip of a experienced epidemiologist, his analysis of the situation, and then I'm going to give my analysis, and then we're going to wrap it up. But do watch this because this is going to affect all of us.
By some measures, the biggest city in the world, confined to their homes. But breaking through the silence, drone instructions. There have been desperate complaints of shortages of food, water and medicines, overburdened delivery networks, and growing protests. Public services are in chaos.
They have been locked in their compound for more than 2 weeks and they don't have enough food. We only want supplies, they shout, in this video verified by Sky News. Why are you beating people? Others, even more desperate, took matters into their own hands. People ransacked this supermarket. Shanghai is fraying under its lockdown. COVID-positive patients cannot isolate at home, no matter how mild their symptoms. Instead, they're sent to quarantine centres. This one hasn't even been finished.
I want to talk about what's going on now in Shanghai, a city of 27 million people. This city has been brought into complete and total shutdown. People are locked in their homes, they're trapped there. There's a number of reporting that shows that if a child younger than the age of 7 comes down with COVID-19, but the parents or other household members are unaffected, that child will be taken out of the home and taken to a public health facility. If the child is over the age of 7, they'll go to a different central quarantine. So parents are being separated from children. There are all sorts of videos out there showing very, very young children being pulled away from their parents, and a number of people who are deeply concerned about this human rights violation. In addition to that, people are on shutdown. They're in their buildings. They're trapped there. They're not allowed to go anywhere. If a family comes down with COVID-19, we see videos suggesting that even the pets are exterminated. We see that there are dramatic food shortages. Government workers are unable to deliver food to people. Often they're not even allowed to leave their building or their premises or even their own apartment to go get that food. So there are all sorts of delays that are occurring. This is a brutal and dictatorial lockdown. And this is what COVID-0 brings you. I think what's astonishing here is that I don't think there's anybody in the Western world who's looking at this and saying, wow, that looks good. It looks horrible. Everyone will agree it's horrible. But this is the logical consequence of zero COVID. This is where zero COVID takes you. We saw in March 2020, even into the fall of 2020, even into 2021, people were saying in this country, if we only lock down harder, long and hard, if we only lock down for 3 weeks, really hard, the virus would go away. Those claims were erroneous. This is a virus that has a number of animal reservoirs. You need to do at least as much as what they're doing in China, and even more if you wish to exterminate this virus. And it wasn't even possible, I think, by March 2020. There may have been a window, December 2019, January 2020. But by February, I think the horse was out of the barn. It was too late for an eradication approach. The virus would eventually spread, engulf everyone, spread again, spread again. It will intertwine with human beings in perpetuity. What is China doing? I think China is showing you that if you believed in a zero COVID philosophy, this is where it leads you. It leads you to locking people in their homes. It leads you to arresting people who come out of their homes. It leads you to even sort of unspeakable cruelty of separating children from parents if one or the other has COVID-19 and not allowing them to be together. It leads you to horrific detention centers. It leads you to extermination of pets because, of course, pets may be a reservoir and they may not have the resources or to do all the other things that it would take to ensure that pets could be had safely. So they think that the simplest answer, the surest fire answer to exterminate the virus is to exterminate the pets. I think it's terrible. I think that people forget that the Western response, the lockdown, was modeled after China. I think if you go back in the literature and you look at what pandemic preparedness strategies were there, they universally said that lockdown would be unpalatable in free society and that it would not be embarked upon. And that is indeed what happened in a place like Switzerland, Sweden, which was very reluctant to pursue these draconian measures. But of course, the UK, led by erroneous modeling, the United States, led by a few people who were influencing the political appointees, locked down. And we did so. I know people now are denying that we ever locked down. We did lock down. Lockdown means school closures, business closures, restrictions on the ability to gather, closing down parks and playgrounds, taking the rims off basketball hoops, basically shutting down society and making it clear that the policy was to shut down society, and using the force of law for people who violated that.
And you may say, well, yeah, this is happening in China, and it's too bad, but thank God we're not that crazy. And I have to say to people that are saying that, do you not remember what happened 2 years ago? The whole thing started with craziness out of China. We were all sitting on the sidelines saying, well, that's China, that's not us, we're not going to go there. I hope that's the case, but I have a feeling it might not be. Here's the news out of Philadelphia. This is current news today. And I see the same thing happening in my northeastern part of the world. I see some people putting their mask back on, and I see the news media drumming up the hysteria about the latest variant. So here's the Philadelphia clip.
Now COVID cases rise across the country, and Philadelphia becomes the first major city to reinstitute the indoor mask mandates.
The Omicron BA.2 variant's causing the increase. Health inspectors are going to start enforcing the new rule at city businesses April 18th.
Brass Check TV, free to you, not free to us. We've got a server bill, we've got an email software bill, we've got a tech helper bill, and that happens every month. So to everybody that is supporting us financially, that's paying for their subscription in one way or another, we really appreciate it. If you're not, consider doing so. Everybody's got money for the newspaper and the cable bill and all that. Do you have money for media that's actually serving you? That's really the issue here. And when you help us, it allows us to get this information out to the world. So thanks to all our supporters, and if you're not a supporter already, please consider becoming one.